You're listening to the Energy is Love podcast.
Coughity cough, cough, cough. I am 98% certain that the camera's working.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Are we recording?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll start paying attention.
Right?
Yeah. Hello.
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 There you go. Hello, Stephanie says from the bottom of the well.
I don't know what happened.
We're super prepared for this episode.
Hello. I come to sing.
I had
song.
everything in mind that I was going to talk about.
And where did it go?
I don't know.
Yeah?
Yeah. We had a really good episode last week.
Did we?
Yeah.
Remind me.
Isn't that funny how often that happens? Like, what did we talk about?
I don't know.
We get done.
I think you talked, and then I think I talked, and then I think you talked, and I might have talked some more, and then you, and then I think we said have a good day.
There was some talking involved.
Yeah? Did I nail it? See, I
You did.
remember.
Mm-hmm.
I remember. And it's also a trip because it's not always the one what we talk about isn't always the last one aired. So then I'm trying to like juggle what's the air. What?
Just keep talking. You're fine.
You're looking around.
I know. I'm trying to decide if it sounds funky.
If it feels it's kind of a little, maybe a little over.
No.
No? I feel like my voice is vibrating a little bit. Oh, I just left the egg in. Just kidding. I didn't.
What are you
It was a
talking
joke.
about?
I'm not going to elaborate.
Oh my God, please do.
No.
I think I know exactly
if you
what
got
you're
the
talking
joke,
about.
then it's there. It's funny. It's
You
not
left the
really.
egg in?
It's not really happening. It's not really a thing. But
What's not a thing?
I'm just saying, for those that got the joke, if anybody got the joke, and I'm not just over here thinking I'm funny all by myself, which is more likely the case, then I was clarifying that.
It's a good chance that it's just my hearing. Last week was my mushroom trip.
Was it?
Yeah, that's what we discussed last week.
Was that the last one we recorded?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, that was last week's episode.
Okay.
So it was a good episode.
Did you already listen to it all?
Well, obviously it's out and released, and it was last week. A couple of people have heard it. It's out there in the universe.
How do you do that?
You're on the ball today, babe. You're all over it.
I'm not prepared.
That's
but
okay.
I'm here and I'm trying.
You're actually you're very prepared.
Am I?
Yes, for what we're about to do.
What are we about to do?
We're about to record a podcast for an hour.
An hour? An hour of me fumbling around? What's happening? They're not working. My hands aren't working.
Oh.
They look like big, strong hands, don't they? They're not working. Let's try this again.
I don't remember if it was yesterday or this morning.
I can help there, I think.
But I had a very clear thing of like, oh, I want to talk about this on the podcast.
Yes. But it doesn't matter when it was because you can't remember what the clear thing was. So
can't remember it. So
what do we want to remember? What we want to talk about? Or
do you remember?
You didn't tell me. You like to keep things a mystery.
You had something today, not just the Seaspiracy documentary on Netflix.
I want to talk about that.
But it seemed like there was something else.
I think there was, but you know what? I looked at my list to see what it was.
We have totally forgotten, haven't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And hitting play magically didn't make it happen.
No. And hopefully everything's recording. It is. We're professional podcasters.
So who like this time of year right now, what we're experiencing is a collective energy of chaos.
You think so?
It's not just us that are going through it. Lots of people are experiencing this spring into ha-ha.
Where's it coming from? Do you know what I mean?
Right
like,
here.
Is it Mercury retrograde? Is it the third house of the rising sun? What do you... Don't look at me like I'm...
Shit. Ashley called it something. You heard that one. Like...
Schneiserhauser.
Something.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it was, though. Do you know why? Because I can't remember my own name right now. So who else is like really going through and clusterfucking their way through life right now?
You know what's funny
and
is it really is a
kinds
thing.
of shit is going down.
Yeah, it really is a thing.
People are getting upset.
Yeah.
Houses are falling. Like
houses are not falling.
not here, but like.
Don't knock on the house.
I knocked on wood.
Knock the house right over.
No, knock on
I have
wood.
some actual things on my
Do
list,
you?
and I'm
Can
glad
you
that I've
remember?
written them down.
Okay. What do
The
you got?
first one is
Parks
Matthew
and Rec.
McConaughey. So we're going to spend a good chunk of time talking about this sweet gem like literally an American treasure. And we all just need to be so incredibly thankful that we have Matthew McConaughey in our lives.
Is it McConaughey?
How else are we supposed to pronounce
McConaughey?
it? McConaughey.
I say McConaughey, but we all know that I'm not a good resource for how you pronounce things.
So I don't know if you've been following Matthew's career. I'm actually a really big fan of Matthew.
You're about
McConaughey. And he's a hell of an actor, right? He's got some Academy Awards, maybe just one for Dallas Buyers Club. But I think he's been nominated a few times. Hell of an actor.
Yeah.
Sounds like he's a really great guy from what we can gather.
I heard he plays the bongos.
Plays the bongos.
I heard he plays the bongos naked. I don't know if that's true or not. It was a long time ago I heard this, but proof. I don't know if it's true or not.
So.
I bet he does.
Hold on.
Did I distract you?
Yes.
Yeah, you think about his bongos.
Last year, I don't know if you don't know because you and I don't follow the same things, right? When you're busy trying to figure out the third house of the rising sun that's affecting all the energy in the world, I'm busy on the
watching
YouTubes.
Watching
Matthew McConaughey. Hey. And last year, what happened was Will Smith. This is a long
I don't know
story.
what's happening. Okay.
Will Smith did some transitioning in his career and started an Instagram account. So he went online and started an Instagram account, started a YouTube channel. I do follow Will Smith.
I do not. I did
and
not know.
It was really interesting because a lot of these celebrities who weren't active on social media suddenly have become active on social media.
Was it with the pandemic because they were all bored?
I think there was part of that was definitely a factor of it, right? All of it is money-based, driven stuff, right?
Yes.
Where they're just trying to keep their brand and keep their name and keep everything kind of out there because it probably had a huge chunk of, except for John Krasinski.
Yeah, he's not
Some good
driven.
news.
Yeah, that was just positivity.
What do you think John Krasinski did with Some Good News?
He was spreading joy through the world.
Do you remember what he did?
Spreading joy and giving hope.
Okay, yeah. That's a byproduct of him selling it and making a ton of money.
Joy and hope. Joy and hope. And bringing people together.
Yes.
And bringing positivity.
And making a ton of money.
I feel like he's a saint and he is not money driven.
But so there are not all celebrities. Like there are some celebrities that are just on social media kind of in this generic, regular way, kind of like the rest of us.
Yeah.
And then there's like these really, like Will Smith is.
I'm sure his is very
produced.
Do you think he even does
content?
Do you think he even knows what it looks like?
Yes.
Do you think he's doing it, or do you think he's got a person?
He definitely has a
If I could have a person, I would have a person.
He definitely has.
It's not a judgment.
It's not a person. He's got an entire team that is responsible for his social media, and it shows.
Yeah.
And all of it is literally just driving his brand and keeping him popular and keeping him.
He's pretty popular
on the tips of people's tongues and involved in things, so that it's going to help. His team's doing a good
job,
right? So Matthew McConaughey, however you pronounce your name, Matt, has thrown his hat into the same ring and is doing the same thing.
Oh.
So he came out last year on Instagram and started his Instagram account.
Did he say it was from
because
the inspiration
of Will Smith?
No,
of course
not.
not.
He didn't give him credit?
No, of course not.
Of course.
I don't know if I follow him on Insta.
I like how all you cool people call it Insta. Like Graham is only for the old. You don't call Graham.
Trust
only the
me.
old people call it Graham. I'm on the Insta.
I am not the cool
IG.
person. Hold on, I'm going to go back and
you
find
left me to laugh at my own joke all by myself. It was awkward. I was like, haha, nope. You did it again.
Oh, I'm fucking working.
Fucking laugh at my joke.
Okay, this was in November of 2019 was when he posted for the first time.
Which one?
McConaughey.
Okay. Is it McConaughey?
Okay, Google. How do you pronounce Matthew McConaughey's last name?
Here are some matching videos.
Let's find out.
We are looking at how to pronounce the name of American actor and producer. He first gained notice.
Wow, that's a video we're not watching anymore.
It's just, do we ever hear him say his name? Does he say his name in
I'm
his
sure he
YouTubes?
does. I'm sure he does.
Does he say anything other than all right?
I'm sure he does. Do you know why all right is his
Because
tagline?
it was the first line that he said ever in his first movie.
Yes, which was bum, ba-da-bum.
Not hey dude. Hold on. The dude.
No, we just watched it recently.
I know, dude. Like the drug one. The one where they're all smoking pot all the time. And they beat kids. I can't remember what it's called.
That's
Ben
the
Affleck
trailer.
is an asshole in it.
Come see this movie. Everybody smokes weed and beats kids with paddles the entire time.
Hey, all I can think of is "Hey, dude." So not it. It is
Dazed and Confused.
Thank you. I knew there was a D in it.
Several D's in that movie.
It Dazed and Confused because you knew what I was talking about.
They did.
Everybody knew what I was talking about.
But recently he started his YouTube channel now, right? Mm-hmm. And every time he gets on and does a video, it's like he doesn't understand how to behave or act normally. Like because he's not normal.
You should watch our podcast
He
and
should.
see how you should
We're
act
totally
and
normal people.
This is how you
right?
do it. Like, I don't know what we're going to talk about. We hit play. We're going.
But he's not normal. He's
not?
a super celebrity famous guy that has lived in that like bubble for the last 40 years or whatever.
Okay, is he Garth Brooks weird or?
Definitely not Garth Brooks.
Okay.
Garth Brooks is he is in a category all of his own.
Yes. That was a surprise for me.
Yes.
I
But
was
it's
very
very
much-
similar.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
You watched it with
I
me,
watched
the YouTube
part
video.
of it. I didn't go down your rabbit hole. I was, doing things.
Yeah. It's hilarious. So if you haven't seen his...
I thought that's right. Because I thought he was being funny. And you're like, he's being real.
serious.
I was laughing. I'm like, oh my God, he's so funny.
He's so funny. He's making fun of himself. Look at how clever he is. Nope. He thinks that's not him being clever or that's legit him trying to be.
Are you being mean to Matthew McConaughey?
No, I really love him. I told you, he's a national treasure. And
I'm
we
not
should
sure if
honor
that's-
him and build statues in his name. And
I don't know what's happening right now.
What do you mean what is happening? We're all super big fans of Matthew McConaughey in this house. So that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Go check that out. Go to YouTube and search it out. Find his channel and watch his very first video that he posted. That's the real
And it's
gem.
not a joke. Have you watched more than one?
No.
So maybe that one was a joke.
Okay, but I watched the very first post that he did on Instagram.
Yes.
And it was of the same thing.
Well, it was a cross post.
Where he's like, hey,
he
everybody.
cross posted.
It's your friend,
Your
Matthew McConaughey.
It's friend? We're friends?
And I'm here and on the Instagram, and we're going to be talking about stuff and doing stuff, and I'm going to be giving you some wisdom and all these kind of...
Is it like
funny.
the advice episode that we did?
The advice? No.
Do you remember that? I feel like you were making fun of him because you see the reflection from us.
Our advice episode was really good. Okay, we've gotten a lot of feedback on that episode.
Yeah.
People want more advice. We're actually going to...
We have more.
We're going to be doing some advice on Instagram.
Yeah.
So that was the first thing on my list.
First of all, I think we should do an instructional video on how to pronounce commonly known last names. I think that's our...
And you should host that segment. What was the recent one you had?
Who knows?
Stephanie likes to think that we should have continual video recording of our lives. Like when we go places, or we basically should just walk around with a camera crew all the time.
We have funny things happen.
Because there's so many times that funny things happen.
Do you remember the day the drink exploded on you?
Yes.
And that doesn't sound like it was very funny, but we almost died and it was funny. The only reason we didn't die is because you're an amazing driver. Had I been driving...
Do you want to tell a story?
Should we?
Do you want to?
Okay, so it was one of these cups. No, it was the pop lid. And we had one of those Zip Fizzes.
Yeah, so it's a water bottle.
It's what? Oh, that's
People
right.
don't
Not
know what a
everybody's
pop
on
lid
you.
is.
Look. No, pops. No, pop.
So we had a
Smack it
water
on.
bottle.
But it was like the snap open shut lid, not a screw tight. Why are you...
Just keep going, baby. I'm glad
You're
we got the
making
camera rolling.
fun of me. Oh, I'm starting to blush.
No, you're cute. And a Zip Fizz.
And a Zip Fizz. And so it kind of bubbles up. As it was bubbling up, I
What's
thought...
a Zip Fizz for the folks that don't know?
It is a flavored drink that is full of vitamins in. It's got some zip and some fizz.
That you add to... It's not a
You add
flavored
to your
drink.
wa- oh, yeah, you add it to water.
To your water.
And it's got natural energy, B vitamins. And so it's, as far as I know, it's a good for you drink. They're just, different flavors and they're yummy. So I poured one in for you as we were driving to Salt Lake.
Getting on the freeway.
Getting on the freeway with sandwiched between semis and construction.
Yeah.
And trying to mix that.
About 80 miles an hour.
Yeah. So it starts to rise and it gets closer to the top, and I think, I'll just shut the lid and it'll stop. I put a lid on it. And so I shut the lid.
Oh, goodness. Closes the lid of the water bottle.
That's so funny.
10 seconds, maybe?
And then, well, enough that I didn't think we were in danger anymore. I'm like, oh, whew, that was close.
Yeah, 10 or 15 seconds later.
And then all of a sudden we hear like this super loud bang.
This explosion occurs while we're driving 80 miles an hour.
And the Zip Fizz escapes rapidly from the bottle, and you are sprayed.
I'm hit with shrapnel.
You are hit with shrapnel. It's on your face, on the shirt, on the roof of the van, and you just kind of like flex your body. You don't really like jump or anything. You just kind of flex your body.
We were right next to a diesel.
And all of that.
You know, like cones and walls.
And then you could see, I'm just looking at you like mouth gaping open, like, what just happened? And you can see like the van doesn't even move. Like we're just flying. It doesn't even sway. You're just holding it. Then you process it real fast and you hear, motherfucker. And then I almost died laughing. I'm trying to wipe green off your face and off your shirt. And I don't even remember where we were going. We had some place to be, and you had like, it was a green Zip Fizz. So you had it all. Oh, it wasn't something you could like kind of hide. It was all over you. And we still have it decorated on top of the van.
It was a good day.
And it's like those moments. I'm like, that would have been hilarious. Just the way everything panned out. And because we all lived, because you're an amazing driver, you didn't swerve or anything.
Yeah. I
couldn't even hold my body up. I was laughing so hard after. So yeah, it would be funny. We would have a lot of those gems. Your original thought, if you forgot because you were distracted, it's okay, I've got this. You were talking about how I think it's a good idea to walk around with a GoPro.
Yes, to record everything. And you do have so many wonderful things. You have so many gems.
About you.
It would be great.
Yeah.
We could definitely have a reality show.
Give me one.
Give you one of your...
Just one. I gave you one, now you give me one.
What was it the other day?
I'm not going to tell you.
I can't remember. There's just too many of them. I can't remember. What were you doing? I walked into the bathroom and you were doing something.
I don't remember the bathroom one. I remember there was a bathroom one, but that's not... I remember the kitchen one.
What was in the kitchen?
I'm not going to tell you because you're making fun of me.
You have to tell them.
No, I don't.
They want to know.
They probably do.
No, I have some stuff.
They would know if they had a GoPro.
If we were recording everything, right? Last week was the mushroom trip, right? And some of the stuff has been being processed, and like I've been going through. That was my list. You can look at it.
You told me I couldn't before.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's just a.
Well, now I don't want
just
to.
a list. It's a list of nonsense.
It was only fun when you were keeping it as like. No, it's not.
Some of the stuff that I've been processing since then.
Yeah.
One of the big things was, I don't know if you remember me talking about this, but I had moments where I was, like I felt very foolish and silly in the middle of this trip, in the way that I was acting and behaving. And I was having a real hard time with the idea that you were watching me. And then it was like really just struggling with watching myself, and like this whole dynamic of who's watching me in this moment. Why do I care what I'm doing in this moment? I should just be able to be silly and free and do whatever I want in this moment. And it was very much like, well, I'm watching myself in this moment. And then kind of the importance of not, at the end of the day, nobody judges me harsher or more, more extensively, continually on a regular, ongoing basis than myself. So when nobody else is watching, I'm watching, and I'm the harshest critic, and I'm the biggest judge, and everything that I'm doing is, do you know what I mean, looked at in such a asinine way. But that's not, that's just kind of what was one of the things that was processed during that experience and afterwards. And then I got more into like not during the experience with the mushrooms, but I was thinking about this whole thing where, and social media has done nothing but highlight this, and we've talked about this before too, but it's this complete desire and need that I have. I'll just speak for myself rather than trying to output it or put it out there on society or other people or how I see things, even though I definitely see things this way, but I'll just speak from my perspective, right? So much of my actions and behaviors are validation. Like what I'm doing is I'm seeking validation. I realized during my experience that I was just seeking validation from you in regards to so many different things. Like 99.9% of my actions and behaviors at this point in my life, in some way, shape, or form, are tied back and connected to wanting validation from you. I want you to see me.
In general, not about that experience that you had.
Correct.
You're just talking. Okay.
Yeah. No, it's just some clarity during the experience of like, how many times the thought process in my head is, what is Stephanie going to think about this? How is she going to see this? What is her opinion of me? Is this something that she approves of? Is this something that she disapproves of? Mm-hmm. Just all validation, right? Wanting to make sure that you see me, love me, validate me. And then I was looking outwards from there and like the different ways that I do that in other relationships and other dynamics and other experiences and things like that, right? Where I'm doing something. Yes, there is the intention of doing something nice or a good deed or being helpful in some way, shape, or form. But then like subconsciously behind all of it, I'm just wanting praise and validation. Does that make sense? And leave it up to me to get uncomfortable and get things into a serious spot for a minute. So I get lost in this rabbit hole in my head where I'm judging all my actions, even this moment right now. And I'm looking at it through the lens of how it is driven by the desire and need for validation. So like right now I'm talking about this topic and I'm talking about this thing, and is it really just this desire to be validated in some way, shape, or form? Whether it's the simplest thing of you being like, yeah, honey, that's really spot on. You really hit the nail on the head there. And do you know what I mean? Or like in a bigger sense of wanting more validation from the people that listen and people commenting on stuff or whatever the case may be. So I've started to look at so many different things in my life through that lens of, is this a validating I told myself I wasn't going to drink beer because I just sit and burp all episode long.
Take another drink.
Mm-hmm. I got to wash the burps down. What?
Nothing.
Did you burp now?
No.
Did you have a lady burp? Was that a little lady burp?
It was a ladybug. I had a little ladybug crawl up and say hello.
Hello.
I'm a little ladybug.
I'm a little ladybug. But through that lens, I'm seeing actions and behaviors that really have this undercurrent of wanting to be seen and validated and wanting people to like me. And it's not even like, yes, it's important to me that people like me and I want to be liked. But the deeper part of it is it's like, I really want validation. Like, it's great if you like me. And if you ask them, yeah, Craig's a great guy. He's super nice, whatever. You know, he's funny. But I really want them to be like, oh my God, you're amazing. Right? I really want validation. Can you relate in any way, shape, or form? Is any of this landing for you?
That's not where my thoughts were.
Where were your thoughts?
Well, since you're breaking and have questions, my thoughts were, first of all, do you feel, I guess not validated by me, but do you feel seen by me and that you are supported by me?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is that honest?
Yeah, very much so.
Why do you think you seek it so much then if you feel like you have it? Or like, oh, here's a better question. Because then that's like you're doing something and you're not doing anything wrong. What does validation look like to you? Like, other than you're doing so great, like what does what does it look like to you? How do you feel like my response would be if you were being seen, the way that you would feel like you were being seen?
Like, specifically, what does validation from you look like?
Well, because I'm the only one, like,
You know
either
what's
from
really
me
funny?
or from anyone. What does it look like for you?
You know what's really funny?
What's that?
Like, just specifically when it comes to you. And like, this is partially, I mean, I'm sure some dots are being connected for you right now in this moment, because like recently I talked to you about like not giving me too much praise.
Uh-huh.
And
I figured I was just annoying you.
it's not annoying at all. But what it's doing is it's like putting me into this chaotic space rather than trying to be in a balanced space of trying to feel my way through this thought process and through this experience, specifically about validation. So when I hear all the praise that you give me and all the love that you give me, it just is like, because what it is I'm judging myself for this behavior, and I'm trying to make peace with this behavior. So I'm trying to not be harsh on it. I'm trying to not judge it. I'm trying to accept the fact that there's a portion of it that's completely normal and that it's just human behavior. People want to be loved. People want to be seen. They want to be a part of a tribe and a community. All of these things are totally normal.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to balance between that, right? Be gentle with myself and acknowledge that there's nothing wrong with this behavior. Yet, it's a fucking work in progress, and I don't do that very well, right? I'm usually really, really harsh. Like I said, I'm my worst critic. So it's like, get the fuck over this already. You don't need all of this validation. Grow the fuck up. It's not that big of a deal. Yes, this is perfectly healthy and fine. Because the thing is with me, babe, and you know this, like I will fully accept the fact that some behavior that I have, some coping mechanism that I have, something that is 100% normal in a sense, right? That normal, average, everyday people do this thing. I'll see that and I'll agree with that. And if somebody else was displaying or talking about the same behavior, I'd be like, yeah, that's totally cool. That's normal. Don't be hard on yourself. It's okay.
But for you.
But for me, I'm a fucking loser and I'm a fuck up and I should not be doing this anymore. Like I shouldn't be 40 years old and still just trying to get everybody to see me. Like, hi, I'm here. Pay attention to me, validate me.
So it's okay for everybody else, but not you.
Yes.
I'm having... So we know that I have an amazing witchy woman in my life, right?
Mm-hmm.
And literally her and I had this conversation and she said something to me and I want to say it to you.
Say it.
Is it okay? Are you ready?
Yes.
So it's okay for everybody else.
Okay. Oh,
but not for you.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm listening.
So you're special. What you're telling me is it's okay for everybody else, but not for you. So you're special then.
Yeah. That's part of the problem. Is I think I am special.
I think you're special too. But that didn't land with you at all. I was sitting there like, oh.
It did land with me, but it just highlights the deeper problem for me.
The deeper problem. I wasn't trying to highlight a deeper problem. I was trying to break you free.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Beautiful witchy woman, we need your help.
Because that's part of the issue that I have is that I think I'm special.
I think you're okay.
And
okay.
I say that, right? And then my response to the person who says that is like, yeah, everybody is special. Yes, you are special. Everybody has unique qualities that make them special, right?
Okay.
And you very much are the same. And that's okay. But yeah, then my default is to go back to, you fucking loser, right?
So is it that you think you're special or is it that you really don't think you're special and you try and pretend you think you're special?
No, I think I'm really special.
Yeah.
Like, I think there's this part of me. There's a part of me, and it's a part of me that I actually really love, and that I'm actually kind of not wanting to get rid of, in a sense, right?
Okay.
But as far back as I can remember, like, there's a part of me that just felt like I was magic.
Yeah.
that felt like I was not just special, it felt like I was different. And the different thing about me was that I was like magic, that I was just, I don't know how else to describe it. I was just magical. I remember thinking that as a kid, where it wasn't like there were definitely parts of it that I thought, I was weird or that I was strange and all these kind of different things. But a bigger part of it was just like, I'm just like really magical. Do you know what I mean? And so that's the part of me that's like super deep down ingrained that thinks I'm special.
Okay.
But if we just look at that as something, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with having that. There's nothing wrong with feeling that way about yourself, right? I would hope that everybody in some way, shape, or form has that sense of feeling like they're important and feeling like they're special, and because everybody in a sense is magical, right?
Everybody's working on self-love.
Well, everybody has something about them that is unique to them and that is special. But for me, over the course of my life, I think it has gotten so out of bounds because of so many different reasons.
Okay.
To where that part of me that thinks I'm special and thinks that I'm magical overcompensates because of pain and trauma and a variety of different things, and then goes to the opposite end of the spectrum where I'm an asshole, where I know better and I'm smarter than everybody, and everybody just needs to do what I tell them to because, and that's like the opposite end of the spectrum where I can be this tyrannical asshole that thinks he knows everything. That's not special. That's a fucking dick. So it's balancing the space and bringing balance to the space and sitting in it just a little bit and acknowledging that there's not necessarily a bad thing about it. Having this sense that like I'm magical. Do you know what I mean? But at the same time, I'm so scared of it being out of balance. Like I'm so scared of being out of balance in life.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I just look at it from that perspective.
Okay.
Balanced or in or out of balance, it's like I do not want to be out of balance. And so even once the things start to shift and rotate and get out a little bit wonky and out of balance, then I get super panicky, super nervous. Because I don't want to experience any of those things again. So that's validation.
Okay. Well, don't move on, because I'm still like in this space of you needing validation, feeling like you are getting validation, not wanting to get too much validation because you don't want to need it on that level, trying to find balance. What does while seeing where you are in this transition and helping you, like just being that support to you, what does it look like? How does you still have an answer, like what does validation from me look like to you in a healthy way? Like what feels good for you to help you in this period where you're looking at things from all these angles and trying to find balance?
I don't know, because you're a very good support. You're very supportive about just everything in my life. You're my biggest support and champion that I've ever had. And so I'm trying to think of like...
Your question wasn't that I don't support you enough. It was like, don't do it too much. Like, don't validate me too much. Go easy on the praise. Don't praise you too much. So like, or is that not really what you mean?
Well, no. I mean, I'm trying to answer your question. What does validation look like from you, right?
Yeah.
And
that you feel like is a healthy way for you to receive it.
It's the things that you do. It's like literally just your words sometimes, right? Just telling me that, not just that you love me, but that you're proud of me and you're proud of like whatever it is that I'm doing. I mean, it's not like, congratulations, you made a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, I'm so proud of you. That's not what I'm talking about,
Sometimes
obviously.
it's an accomplishment. There are those days.
No, but you're very sweet and kind, and you go out of your way to take a moment and just reflect on how proud of me you are, and how like the work that I'm doing and the things that I'm doing is important, and that you're proud of me for, because it's hard.
Okay.
And that's good. I'm not saying that's what validation looks like from you, and that feels good.
Okay.
This question is bringing up something for me.
Oh.
Do you have a, what? Go ahead. You're super confused.
I am. Like, I asked like the question, you felt like, yes, you are receiving that from me. But your statement the other day, like you said, was, don't praise me too much. So you're like, it looks like the things that you were doing, but then you say don't do it excessively. So I'm like, you haven't clarified anything for me. I want to support you in this, but I don't know what I need to like change in a sense so that you can, or just let you tell me as it comes up, I guess, because
Yeah, you don't have to change anything.
you told me to pull it back, which I'm okay doing if that's what you need. I'm just trying to, I don't want to make you feel like it's not there. So I'm just trying to find that, what does your balance look like? I'm trying to meet you where you're at. I'm trying.
Yeah. I don't know, dear. I know it's confusing. I know it's very confusing. I say things to you all the time that are like super contradictory and confusing. I'll do this, but don't do that. And you're like, those are the same things. What do you want from me? Like, I need validation, and I need you to tell me that you love me, and then not that much. Yes. Don't do it too much.
We're figuring out how to communicate then. So I guess if we just keep doing it that way, then we'll figure it out.
Yeah. I guess the part that is, because I said that this is bringing up something for me, the distinction I think that is important is specifically in regards to you.
Oh, okay. Good. Clarifier.
Yeah, this is all about you right now, Stephanie.
Okay.
Okay. This is something that you're doing.
Okay.
I'm teasing. No, I can very clearly see how that this is specific about you.
Okay.
Is if I think that I have done something that upsets you, or if I have done something that you disapprove of, or if I have done something that is wrong, then that is when I need validation that I didn't. So it's like, and I mean, that's a different type of validation, right? That's a different type of praise in a sense. But it's like, I very much need you to say, one of the things that you and I have been doing and trying to do the last few days is like acknowledgement of like, what I'm processing and going through has nothing to do with you. Mm-hmm. It's not something that you did or said or any of your actions or behaviors. It's just my process. And like, I need that reminder, if it seems like I've done something that's wrong or that's upset you or something like that, because then everything becomes very, I go like straight into activation, fight or flight and freeze, where I get super panicky and nervous and can't move very well. Does that kind of make sense? What are you thinking?
I will tell you after we are done hearing you.
I don't know what else to say. See, I said, right now I feel like I did something wrong.
Right now I can honestly tell you didn't do anything wrong.
I feel like I said something that is triggering you.
So you have your issues.
Just a couple.
You have Craig issues.
I've got two. Just two.
I have staff issues.
Uh-huh.
Just two. There are times you do ask me to do that. And there are times when I don't know that you're triggered. And I don't know that you feel like you did something wrong. And so you'll say that. And then it's like, oh my God, you didn't do anything wrong. Like, it's so easy. It's so easy to reassure you in those moments. And honestly, that is the majority of the time. It is so easy. But there are times when I am upset with you and you're like, I need you to tell me it. And I'm like, and it's so hard for me to get there. And that throws me in a trigger, not your cause, a past trigger of when I've become upset because of something that's happened, and then I have to make it better for my safety.
Ooh.
So it triggers that in me, but I have to like push that aside because I know that feeling in me is not what's happening right now. So I can now see it, but there are those times when it's hard, and then I have to process afterwards because I am upset, but it's not because something's such a big deal. It's just things happen, right?
Yeah.
We get upset.
Yeah.
So that will kick in, and that might be something that you pick up on too. Is because, and then I have to make, that's hard. But then I can get into that, and then I need my own time. I need to walk away, and I need to either like, I need to be in another room until, so I can process my things. And I usually have to like cry it out or get mad about it until I can really get a clear, differentiation. How's the word? Say it.
It's a good word.
Shut up. Say it for me.
No, you got it. Differentiation.
I said it right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. How about that? All right.
Tune in to my YouTube channel. I'm going to be dropping words of wisdom.
My past trigger, which is very much taking the driver's seat and what the actual situation is. So keep doing it. Just know that sometimes if I can't respond immediately with everything's okay, just know in your trigger state that everything's fine while I'm going through my trigger state. So I hate it when our triggers bump up against each other.
Yeah, and it makes perfect sense.
Here's our triggers, and we're like, yeah, and then we have this thing, and
just like you're saying, it is about, because I know those moments, right?
Yeah.
And I get super scared in those moments, and we need to figure out a way to communicate through those moments so that you can express, I need a moment, right? Without me spiraling out into this panic of, oh my God, it's terrible. What did I say? What did I do? And then I just go into these rabbit holes of how, all my actions and behaviors over the course of the past 6 weeks has led up to this point with, and now she's so angry at me. And it's like, no, jackass. It's none of those things.
See, I think we are doing good with our communication on that. Like, we have improved a lot. And yes, there is more. But I want to like double back to what I said before, is that the majority of the time, it's like so easy. Like, oh my God, you didn't do anything wrong. This may be a hard conversation right now. I may be feeling things, you may be feeling things, but you didn't do anything wrong.
You know how you do, and this isn't like, how you do this thing.
Probably.
You know how sometimes all you need to hear from me is that I love you, that I think you're beautiful, that... Do you know what I mean? Like,
I don't need that.
That's not a bad thing.
I'm being sarcastic. Yes. Yes, I need that too.
Sometimes that's like, you're like, just tell me that I'm beautiful. Tell me that I'm pretty and that you love me, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes that's all you need to hear. And you know how that feels in that moment where you're like...
I feel really stupid right now. I'm like, thanks for fucking outing me.
Well, hold on a sec, because it's very much the same thing for me. I mean, I like when you praise my looks, and I like, but it's not... when I say it's not a big deal, I'm glad that you find me attractive. I'm glad that... But
you don't care? Is that what you're saying?
Not at all.
Okay.
What I'm saying is, when I say, please tell me I didn't do anything wrong.
I don't then tell you you're so pretty.
No, but hold on. I'm having the same response that you're having when all you need to hear is tell me that I'm pretty.
I've only been saying that recently, by the way, just since I got this brand new thing.
Hold on. This isn't a bad thing. I want to, this is a very important thing I'm trying to express to you so that you can hopefully relate to me in some way, shape, or form.
I do relate
the importance of this thing for me, right? That's a very important thing for you in the moment sometimes. And you know what you're physically feeling, emotionally feeling. You know what your body's going through. And you need those words in that moment, right? I'm having the same experience. And I don't need you to tell me that I'm beautiful. I need you to tell me that I'm safe and that I didn't do anything wrong and that everything's okay.
I thought I did that. So am I not doing that when you need that? Do I give you a physical compliment?
Baby, no.
I'm making sure.
Sweetheart. I'm not, the whole physical thing has nothing to do with it. I'm just highlighting a thing that goes on inside of you. I have the exact same thing go on inside of me. Just in regards to a different topic, right? So I need something different. You need this and I need that. And we both have learned and listened and been able to give that to each other. So I was highlighting a cool thing.
Okay. It is a cool thing. I don't feel like you've really... I love you.
You don't feel like I've really what?
I am scared that because I've asked for that thing recently, this is so getting off track. Like, I feel like whatever. I'm just going to end just go back.
Please.
I've asked for that recently.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's like, that's your focal point. Like, usually it's not that. And I'm like
the fact that you ask that
recently,
from time to time isn't a bad thing.
No, it's not a bad thing. That's not my point. That's not why I'm upset. I'm upset right now, so I'm having a hard time expressing myself. It's that when I need that, I guess I ask for it. But I don't want you to think that that is always what I need, because if that's not,
I don't.
Okay. I don't know how to communicate right now, so let's just go, because it's not coming out right.
Well, all I was trying to explain to you, and
I related to you.
Okay, that's all. I was just trying to give some context so that you had an understanding of where I was coming from in those moments, and how fragile I feel in those moments, and how scared I am in those moments, where it's like, because there's times too where it's almost like there's nothing that's gone on, and I'm having this entire experience that you're completely unaware of. And then I'm like, I just really need you to tell me that everything's okay right now, and that I didn't do anything wrong, and that you love me. And then you do that, and I feel better. And it helps bring down my anxiety level. It helps bring down everything that I'm experiencing in that moment, right? And it might be something that you're completely unbeknownst, has no idea what's triggered it for me. You have no idea what's going on in a sense, but yet you do a very good job of showing up for me in that moment. So this whole thing about validation, there was another part of it that I'm trying to remember now that was very, very pronounced for me. It actually happened at group this week. And I don't remember the context of it. So I'm going to try to remember it and see if I can actually pull it out and talk about it, because it made a lot of sense. But it was kind of around the idea in the space about, you know how sometimes people talk about living up to your fullest potential, or like doing the thing that you've always wanted to do, or like living big, or living, do you know what I mean? In all of these ways that kind of people are afraid to do, right? People are afraid to reach for what they really want in life. People are afraid to do all of these kind of different things.
I say live out loud.
Right? Yeah. People are afraid to do that. And then there's this, and whether or not this isn't like super, I'm getting super fucking nervous and feel really silly right now trying to talk through any of this stuff. But the idea is that sometimes the reason people don't do that is because they're afraid of their like power, in a sense, right? They have all this fear about what that will mean if they actually, like, what if you actually get what you want? And they're like, oh, I don't know. And then they're like afraid because they won't be able to live up to it, or they won't be able to.
Yeah, sometimes getting what you want for scary.
Right. So there's all of this. And I think that sometimes that's like the commonly held belief is that's what keeps people from living to their fullest potential.
Yeah.
Is because they're afraid of like the consequences of what that means, right? Yeah. Are they going to be able to do it? Like they're afraid of their own power. Zip fizz all over again.
See, you put a little on it.
Here we go.
I'll just wait.
Stay tuned, folks. Beer's about to explode. But in the moment when I was thinking about this and I was having this kind of thought in regards to this whole idea, there was something about validation in that space where, see, I'm not going to be able to remember it because it was one of those like light bulb moments for me, but I just can't remember. It had something to do with validation, where it's like, it's not really that a whole idea that I'm afraid of my own potential. And that's what keeps me from living out loud or living big. Mm-hmm. It's really, I'm afraid of, like being seen completely. And it's not even, and this might be just specifically to me, obviously, of course, right? Everything that I've said, this whole entire episode could 100% just be about me. But it's not necessarily about being seen by others, but it's like really, truly seeing yourself. Do you know what I mean? Like there's a part of me that thinks I'm magic and then thinks that I'm a big deal. And maybe the thing that's keeping me from like, quote unquote, living this fullest life of my greatest potential is the fear of having to confront that part of me that thinks that, but then really fears that's not true. Like you're not really that big of a deal. You're not that important. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, part of me feels like it's not necessarily like afraid of, oh, God, I'd just be so overwhelmed if I lived this full life and got everything that I wanted. And, I'm not talking about monetary shit or, a new house or something, but it's like, I think that there's a part of it for me that is afraid of confronting that side of the reality that I'm probably not like everything that I think I am. And that is probably what has kept me from living to my fullest potential. It's because my fullest potential perhaps is this. And there isn't much more potential to have. And then confronting that reality of like, well, my whole life I thought I was a big deal and I thought that I was important. Turns out I'm not. Turns out that I'm mediocre. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
I hear you.
Baby, I'm so sorry.
Why are you sorry?
Because I feel like I just done clusterfucked everything up and made you feel terrible about everything.
No, I understand what you're saying. I hear you.
Yeah.
I don't relate, but I hear you, and that's a big fear. Like, so that makes like I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, part of me thinks it's not like I'm afraid to fail in that space, and that's why I like, keep living small instead of living big. It's not like I'm afraid to fail. It's like confronting that thing of like, maybe this is it. Maybe this is the most potential that I have. I think sometimes about like what I put my time and energy into and what I really focus on, right? And I mean, I can kind of do what I want to do when I want to do it. And I mean, like, if I have an idea, I can kind of usually create it and turn it into a reality in some extent, right? Even though it always is different than I thought it was going to be and all those kind of things. But what is keeping me from this place where I am now and this place that I want to be? And maybe it has something to do with this validation thing. I don't know. This is all just like super random thoughts.
Where do you want to be that you're not? Where are you trying to go?
It's not where I'm trying to go. It's the realization that I'm just continually trying to be a better version of myself than I was yesterday. And I'm not happy with the version that I am today or the version that I was yesterday. So it's this perpetual growth cycle of trying to heal everything and, uncover everything and get all this shit squared away so then I can live to this fullest potential.
When is that?
That isn't ever.
Okay.
Right? Like there's a big part of me that intellectually understands all of these things that it's like, just as soon as I get to that spot where everything fully comes together and I've arrived, turns out there's about 40 other things that have to take. Like, it's never, you never get to that spot.
So you can never be truly happy with yourself until you get to the spot that's impossible to get to for anyone.
Well, that's a fear that I have.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? I'm afraid that I'll be on this endless cycle of thinking that I need to like be better, heal more, be more connected, be more balanced, right? Always chasing this middle spot of balance and everything in peace. And then that's when life really unfolds for me. I don't like that.
Yeah.
I don't like that feeling.
Your turn. Your turn.
Oh,
Are you
I'm
gonna
just let it go.
What? Yeah.
Yep. Tune in on YouTube and watch my beer overflow. Pop fizz, zip fizz all over the fucking table. Yeah, babe. That's a big fear for me.
Yeah.
I feel like you're super activated. You've stopped talking. You're not wanting to really. So I'm just keep on rambling because I'm nervous as fuck.
No, I'm fine.
You're not fine.
No, I don't know. If you're never going to, you're not afraid that you'll never get to the impossible place. You're afraid that you'll never stop trying to get to the impossible place.
Yeah, and in the meantime, not enjoy my life.
Can you keep trying to get to the impossible place? Because like evolving is a good thing, and still enjoy your life.
Hopefully.
That's the goal, right? That's what you're looking.
Like all of this is very much like super present of what I've been dealing with. That's the goal. Fuck goals. Like I'm
sorry.
I'm not mad at you.
Okay.
I'm just saying this is the thought process that goes through my head, right? And it's like, what's the goal? Fuck them. Fuck goals. Why? Right? I don't give a shit.
Okay.
I'm super happy with where I'm at in life right now.
You just said you're unhappy with where you're at right now.
Can you see how there's this fucking chaos in my head?
I'm seeing it clearly, actually.
Super happy where I'm at.
You're painting a really good picture.
Very, very like
miserable
right
where you're
now,
at.
I'm super happy with where I'm at. We're in our house that we love, drinking the best beer that money can buy. Not really. Recording our podcast, super happy, getting to spend all of this time with the woman that I love, living a life that I absolutely love, right?
Yeah, you're like, what if this is as good as it gets? What if it doesn't get any better? What if what if this is it? What if this is it?
Yeah. What if this is it for my life?
So you're extremely happy and extremely depressed where you're at.
I didn't say I was extremely depressed.
Extremely unhappy with where you're at.
It's not an extremely unhappy thing.
I can't follow. I'm trying.
I'm trying to.
Yeah, I see that.
That's the whole thing.
I'm
trying to figure it out. I'm trying to be I'm just trying to live, babe.
Yeah.
Without so much pain. I understand that it's a part of life. I understand that we're going to experience it over and over and over again. But I would like some of the pain that I'm experiencing to be just a little less fucking shitty.
Yeah.
And I think that there's got to be a way that I can figure that puzzle out.
Yeah.
So that as I continue to live this life that I love, it's not so painful sometimes.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
I think you're in the process. I think you've been in the process for years.
Yeah. I do too.
Yeah.
I do too. I just feel stuck right now.
Yeah. I hate that feeling.
Yeah. But
I hate that feeling.
it's okay.
It is okay.
It's part of the process. Sometime this has been a terrible fucking episode.
Oh. Well, you're the editor. You don't have to release it.
I I had a funny thing I wanted us to do.
What was it?
It's not funny now, so we're not going to do it.
Nothing's funny now.
Nothing is funny right now.
What? I have beer on my shirt.
That's not funny.
That was funny. Were you going to try and do the one arm pick me up on the camera?
No. There's no way in hell we could do that.
Did you
Not
just call
on.
me fat?
I didn't call you fat. Like, we're not gonna move the camera around and
Stop.
things falling down and guitar flies up over the fucking tables.
What if I like kind of like bounce?
Jump.
So
And then I just
not
catch
jump.
you.
Jump. I just bounce.
Just a little hop.
We get a little like.
Yeah, and then I just lift you
Yeah.
right up. It could happen. Tune in next week. We'll give it a shot.
Just don't punch me in the pussy. You're mad that I said that.
I'm not mad that you said pussy. Why the hell would I be
You
mad?
blinked. You were like, oh God. She said pussy.
We can actually say anything that we want on this
Yeah.
podcast.
Can we say the funny thing that you were going to say then?
No, because it's not funny.
I just opened it up with lightness.
I
created the atmosphere.
Yeah, but trust me.
Okay.
I know my wife. She's not going to think it's funny in this moment.
Is she here?
Oh, she's here. Trust me. She's here.
I'm not sure what that means. So here's this funny thing. Since you don't want to say your funny thing, I'll say my funny thing.
Okay.
One of the things that drives you absolutely fucking crazy is when our 14-year-old doesn't listen because he has this thing in his head where he thinks he knows better. I don't know where he gets it. He thinks he knows better than everybody else. And one of the things that I'm having a good time right now. I don't know why I'm like not facing the camera.
The whole episode?
I got uncomfortable kicking back. I'm like,
I know,
hey,
we need to get you a footstool for that side.
I think maybe my mic needs to be here so I can lounge that way.
You can.
But so when we're trying to explain it to him with our wisdom, and because nobody can tell him any better because he's one of those people that think that they know better than everybody else.
Just like his mother.
He'll say, trust me. And it pisses one of us off. And one of us has never heard that they actually say it and they got it from. So I'll quit talking about it. It pisses you off. And you've only recently just realized that you do that. You're, trust me. So
what's really happening?
I love to point it out every time you trust me.
No, listen.
What?
Listen.
Do I need to trust you right now? Linda?
Listen. There in the last...
He's becoming so you.
I mean, probably it's
I
2020,
like you.
right? And the fact that everybody was stuck together forever. It's not. He's been this way for a very, very long time.
He's been this way for a long time.
But I'm seeing it.
You're seeing it?
More and more and more.
He's totally you.
Yes. And in so many ways.
I fucking love it.
And in so many behaviors and the way that he acts and the way that he speaks and even like the tone of his voice at times and the literal
the looks that he gives that you only notice from him.
Yeah, the
like,
literal like actual exact same verbatim words that I use. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So I see it.
Yeah.
Very, very clearly. My question to you is...
Oh, okay. Here we go.
Do you see when he does you?
Give me an example.
Oh my God.
Give me one. I have examples for you. Can you give me an example?
God. There's so many.
No, can you give me one?
Can you give me one? That's the question. Do you see it?
No. I can name them for you. So can you name them for me?
Yeah.
Because if you can't name them for me, it doesn't matter if I can see it because you obviously can't see it either. So can you name one?
There's a behavior that you both do.
Which is, what is it?
It's specifically around bedtime. So if it's bedtime.
Do I have a fucking bedtime? I'm pretty sure I'm a 40-year-old woman. I go to bed when I want. So what do I do at bedtime, Craig?
You don't have a bedtime.
I think
Tonight you're going to have a bedtime.
You just dug yourself in a...
But when it's the time of day that we go to bed.
Okay. And apparently the master of the house tells me it's time to turn off the lights. Got it. Keep going.
The both of you, not at the same time always.
Okay.
But
What do we do?
You both very much prolong that as long as you possibly can. So he will do it in a variety of ways. Okay. Mm-hmm. Some of the ways are the exact same as the way that you do it.
Okay.
But you have your own set of ways that you just continue to putter around and prolong the fact that you're coming to bed. And he does the exact same thing. Like his whole, looks like I gotta go fix Angel's bed now and tuck her in and get a blanket on her. And then he starts going towards the stairs, and I'm going downstairs and I'm going to go to bed. Oh, looks like I forgot to plug in my laptop. Better go over and do that now. And
which is a necessity.
Just does everything he possibly can
for school.
to not go to bed.
So he takes care of the dog and maintains his responsibilities. Continue.
So I used to think that it was, I mean, there is definitely a part of it that's just a child that doesn't want to go to bed.
Wait, did you just call me a child?
No, talking about our son, who's a child. There's definitely a part of that.
Okay.
But there is another part of it
that
is learned behavior by watching his mom. Because you will, like, oh, looks like I'm folding laundry. Looks like did I lock the back door? No, I'm going to lay down. Oh, can't lay down in bed yet. Got to go brush my teeth. Oh, gotta put it up. Oh shit, forgot to plug in my laptop and get it upstairs. 45 fucking minutes later, you finally lay down and go to bed.
Well, I'm sorry that you just are like, whatever, all that stuff.
You wanted one example. I gave it.
You did. But I don't say that drives me nuts about.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Okay.
There was your laugh.
There was
every episode we need that laugh.
Okay.
Yes. That's my goal, is to make you laugh like that every single episode. I noticed it very pronounced on the last episode where you had so many. I feel
like I didn't laugh a lot on the last episode.
Oh my God, you had like just a couple of really good belly laughs, and they're so beautiful, and it makes me so happy. You have such a beautiful laugh. We got to wrap up.
Okay.
Go to Instagram.
I need to fold the laundry first. Oh,
yes.
God, I did it again.
Go to Instagram and follow us. We're going to be doing, we keep talking about things that we're going to be doing there. There are actually things happening on Instagram that we're doing, and we're going to be doing more. Go to YouTube. Pretty much anywhere that you listen to this podcast, it is always incredibly beneficial and helpful if you just click 5 stars or whatever form of rating system that platform has, and leave us a little review. If you're not privy, because maybe
I think sharing too.
Yeah, share it. Tell other people about it. You can share it.
Yeah. I read somewhere that's good.
Sharing is in fact caring.
Sharing is caring.
But if you're not aware of the way that the internets work is...
Do what?
The internets.
Plural?
There's multiple internets.
Okay.
I don't know if you're aware of that. Have you even heard of the dark web?
Oh, there is.
Anyways. We're ending the show.
But you just connected us to the dark web.
Shh.
What
Stop.
did you do?
It helps us if you...
You're so pretty.
If you subscribe and rate and do all that shit, it helps us. What it does is it helps the podcast be seen by more and more people, which then is just a good thing.
I got really comfortable.
Because then they get these gem episodes that we put out. So
you're welcome.
Do you remember our tagline? Not our tagline.
I do. Do I get to say it this time?
It's not the tagline. What's it called?
Our catchphrase? Ending phrase?
No.
Sign off.
Sign off. Thank you very much. Let's hear it, babe.
I get to say it?
You get to say it. Sign us off.
When in doubt, spread the cookie out.